Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Sridevi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. Today I am going to repot this plant called as Coleus. No, this was in a pot. This pot, and this pot seems to be in a mess. I am going to remove all the weeds and the plant from this pot. There is a plant in that, and as I was carrying that plant to this place, this branch broke. There is this plant inside it. It's almost cut. I'm going to repot this plant. Coleus is mainly a foliage plant. They have got beautiful leaves and they are grown only for foliage. There are many varieties in it. I am not a very big fan of Coleus, so I have only about 4 or 5 varieties. These can be very easily grown from cuttings also. There are roots on this cutting. This can be grown very easily from cuttings. It belongs to the Tulsi family and it gives out flowers like Tulsi. It's a very easy care plant, doesn't need much attention and doesn't need any fertilizers also. But because I am repotting, I would be adding vermicompost and cow dung manure. Cow dung manure is rich in nitrogen, and because this is a foliage plant, that is plant grown only for its leaves, I would be adding cow dung manure because cow dung manure has got lots of nitrogen in it, and nitrogen is very good for growing good large leaves. So we will start with the repotting. I am first going to remove these weeds. If we soak this soil, we can remove the weeds very easily. But as it had rained yesterday, I did not find the necessity to soak the pot or potting soil in water. And there is this Ruvelia prostrata. I don't know what color plant flower this will get. I will put it in another pot. All these weeds have to go. These weeds, they compete with the main plant for their food material. Look at the grass. And this grass, if we leave in the pot, it will occupy the whole potting mix, and the potting mix will be full of the roots of this plant. Whenever a grass starts growing in the pot, I start getting OCD. This is the part of the plant which I showed. It has roots. Now if you observe, this plant is almost broken here also, and the roots are very strong. I am going to pull out the roots. It has come with its root ball. I am not going to disturb the root ball. I am going to keep it as it is. I am not using this pot. This is too large pot for Coleus. I am using a 6-inch pot. This pot will be enough. Compared to this is very small. Coleus roots do not grow very deep. You saw how easily I pulled it out. So they do not grow very deep. and so they do not require a big pot also. And in this pot there was lots of potting mix because the pot was big, and because of that the roots, they were getting soggy. The potting mix was also not very well draining potting mix. Now with this plant I am keeping the root ball, but I would be cutting off these branches. I can put them again back into the soil. This is too long branch. It will start falling down. So we can make multiple cuttings out of this. So this I will put in this pot. So there are numerous cuttings which I got from one plant. This one. This has got mealybugs, so I am discarding that. This one. Then the part which cut off when I was bringing the pot. This is one cutting. One more cutting. Then this I will cut here. This part, it doesn't have any life in it. It is breaking very easily. There is no life, so I cut off and thrown it. But this has got. This is again too long. I am taking two cuttings in that. All these parts are going to be snipped off. This is remaining. This also. That is also snipped now. Only this much of that branch is remaining. Now all these I am going to put in this pot. But before all this, I have to prepare the potting mix. So this is the regular garden soil or garden potting mix brought from the nursery. This has got a little bit of sand in it. Still, it is not a very well draining type of soil. I am going to add little sand to it so that it becomes well draining. But I am not going to make a sandy type of soil. This I am pouring here. So 1/4 of this potting mix I am going to add sand. This is 1/4. Now I am going to mix both. And I am adding vermicompost as well as cow dung manure. Vermicompost I am adding because it has got other nutrients in it, macro and micronutrients. Cow dung manure for its nitrogen. It's a foliage plant. It requires lots of nitrogen. Leaves will grow better. So this is mixed nicely. To this, I will add about 1 teaspoon of Epsom salt. Epsom salt will help the plant to overcome the transplant shock Not only that, it will also help better foliage growth. And to improve the foliage still much better, we can take the same Epsom salt. In 1 liter, we have to take 5 grams of Epsom salt, mix nicely and spray it on the leaves. Epsom salt can be absorbed from the leaves. I have covered the drainage holes with leaf mold. Yes. I just double checked if the holes are patent. Now I'll add this mix which I prepared. Coleus doesn't need much attention. It is a very poor feeder, doesn't like much nutrition also. Part of the plant which has got the root ball, but this is shaky, so I'll have to cover it with lots of potting mix to make it stable. I'll require a little more potting mix. This is quite stable, but I need to stabilize it more. Taking little more potting mix and a bit of sand also, the same ratio. Vermicompost is not there anyway. I have already added it. It is there at the base. So this is now stable. Quite stable now. This itself will grow into a big plant. We can poke these in here. They will grow back. Or we can make new plants out of it. This has got mealybugs, so I am removing. Always whenever the roots become weak, the plants start getting fungal attack, mealybug attack, aphids attack, all this. So roots have to be very strong. I have added cow dung manure and vermicompost that will make the roots strong. These cuttings I am adding here only. I am putting back in this so that the pot looks full. I think one I will keep aside for making a new plant. New plant in a new pot. This is too long. This will cut very easily. You don't have to put much effort. The stem is square and it is already developing some roots on this. You can place it this way or you can place it this way also. These cuttings are still remaining. I will put them in another pot. So that was repotting Coleus. What are requirements? It requires moist soil always. So it requires daily watering. Not too much. Just keep the potting mix wet. In fact, if we don't water it one day, the next day already the leaves will start drooping down. so it loves moisture, so it has to be watered daily. Then, as I said, it doesn't need any nutrition or food material. It's not very big fan of nutrition, so no need. But cow dung manure can be replaced once the whatever food material is put, once that is used, it can be replaced by cow dung manure. Sunlight, it requires full sun. Because there is variegation on the leaves, it is colored. The leaves are colored, isn't it? So the leaves have got this variegation, dark brown variegation. So that variegation will come only when the plant is in full sun. Once this pot gets full, again we can propagate them with these cuttings like this. Already roots are growing here. It's very easy maintenance plant, and it gives beautiful foliage also. So it's a plant which can be recommended for beginners. So that is about repotting of Coleus. I have 2 or 3 more plants on my terrace. Again, I have to repot them also. So thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.